And I'm apologizing and I'm asking for forgiveness. Am I entitled to one mistake? Am I, after 35 years? I mean, I love my league, I love my partners. Am I entitled to one mistake? It's a terrible mistake, and I'll never do it again.
The vice president of the NBA Players Association, Roger Mason, he said that the players won't accept anyone in the Sterling family owning the Clippers, not you, not your wife, not your son-in-law, not your daughter. Do you believe that?
I really don't know. The people that are going to decide my fate, I think, are not the media and not the Players Union, but the NBA.
The owners.
Pardon me?
The owners.
The owners. If the owners feel I deserve another chance, then they'll give it to me.
All right, welcome back. Back on the Malzberg panel with Seton, Motley, and of course the host of the Christopher Hahn show, Christopher Hahn. Then the owners aren't going to let him keep the team. But what gets me, and Ari Fleischer, for the record, who runs his own sports PR firm these days, said taking his team is a bit too much. And I got to tell you, everybody deserves forgiveness. Again, whether I would let him have his team or remain in the NBA, I don't think I would. But to say for LeBron James, for instance, who doesn't even play for the Clippers, to say as players we want what's right and we don't feel like no one in his family should be able to own the team, who the heck is he? And you know what? If LeBron James ever does something wrong, I mean really wrong, should his family, his children, and his wife suffer the consequences? Chris?
I think the days of kings and queens are over, and your families don't suffer the consequences for your actions. That said, the NBA is a private club, and Sterling's bad for business. And was what he said horrible? Yes. I think what he did in his housing practices as a landlord was even worse than what he said, and nobody seems to be talking about that. And the NBA let him in with that, and nobody cared. The NAACP gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award knowing this. So I don't understand why words matter more than actions. This guy's actions were horrible. His words were horrific, but his actions were equally as horrific and had real consequences for real people.
So, Seton, where do you stand on this? Now it's unacceptable if the family...
This was a dirty little secret in the league for a long time about Donald Sterling. I saw Bill Maher respond to this in defense of free speech, and I'm going to actually quote and agree with Bill Maher, where he said this is a guy in his house, illegally taped, and then destroyed with the illegal audio. And I think going forward, that's a horrible precedent to set. Now, I agree with Chris that it's a private club and they can get rid of him because it is bad for business. If Adam Silver had done anything less than what he did, the commissioner of the NBA, there would have been no playoff games that night because all the players would have boycotted. So he is bad for business. He will lose his property. But I like what Bill Maher said about free speech and being able to say whatever you want in the privacy of your own home. If we get to that point, we're in Stasi land.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All right, let me ask you one to start with you, Seton. We had Sean Spicer, the spokesperson for the RNC, on Friday, made some news. They, among other things, they're going to insist that conservative media, such as from Newsmax, I'm volunteering, by the way, Breitbart, other places, that they have representatives that could help moderate and participate in the Republican debates going forward. They just don't want left-wing liberals in the media, as he put it, who don't have any interest in the party whatsoever, conducting these exclusively. What do you think?
Or aren't actively helping the Democrat candidate. I'm waving at you, Candy Crowley. No, absolutely. Why would you? It's like the chicken coop having foxes moderate the debate. What should we have for dinner?
Yeah, what about it, Chris?
Look, I'm all for as many debates from as many forums as possible. I think that they think they're going to control who sets debates, but sometimes media organizations and groups set up debates and people show up. I don't know how they're going to stop that from happening. I think it's kind of ridiculous to try, and I think there's going to be a lot of backlash when they do.
Really? So they should just keep going with the Candy Crowleys and I could go on with the list.
Well,
you know who they are.
When the Des Moines Register in Iowa
Jim Lair.
When the Des Moines Register in Iowa wants to sponsor a debate, the candidates who are competing in Iowa are going to want to show up for that debate. Same thing in New Hampshire
all right.
and South Carolina.
All right. Christopher,
so good luck.
Christopher,
Well,
appreciate
Steve,
it.
you
Christopher
travel.
Hahn, host
You
of the Christopher
travel to
Hahn
Iowa,
Show.
wouldn't you,
Seton
Steven?
Motley, gotta go. Founder of Less Government. Guys, thank you very much. We'll have you back very soon. Appreciate it. The Malzberg panel, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing quite like it. And we'll be back with more of the Steve Malzberg Show. But first, today's America's Moment takes a look back at the birth of Martin Luther King Jr.
January 15th, 1929 was a chilly day in Atlanta, Georgia, when a family gathered to welcome into this world a new life, and with it, a new hope for America. 2 years after his birth, his father, Michael King, changed his name to Martin Luther King, and then changed his son's name to Martin Luther King Jr. Throughout his 39 years, he instilled in Americans a new spirit of justice and freedom, based on equality instead of status, and character instead of race. He waged a nonviolent war on racial segregation, with appearances that radiated with an energy that transcended all races, all faiths, and people of all ages, with words that still resonate today.
I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
He spoke to us of his dreams and his beliefs that justice too long delayed is justice denied. You're watching An American Moment on Newsmax TV.